Hey, Catalyst crew. Welcome to Catalyst Corner, episode 19. It's Thursday, so you know we've got Jim F0123 Art on with us, and yeah, let's get into it. How you doing, Jim?
Doing okay. How you been?
Oh, you know, very tired.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah. So, you know, summer's over, fall's approaching.
Yeah. Cooler temperatures out there. You can definitely tell winter is on its way. Anybody here in the Northeast knows that snow is about to happen anytime now.
So you would argue and say to me, winter is coming.
Winter is coming.
So I kind of wanted to start, you know, obviously pretty big passing.
Very big.
This week.
Yeah, definitely.
The Queen.
The Queen has
Her
died.
Majesty has kicked the
She
butt.
has
96.
expired. Yeah.
Good run.
Yeah, her and her husband had a tremendous lifespan. I don't know what was going on in Buckingham Palace, but definite long lifespans for those two.
I'm not convinced that Prince Philip wasn't just sucking the blood of the innocent.
Oh, well, I
You
think
know?
that is probably a true statement.
But it's been an interesting sort of news cycle with all of this.
Yeah.
Because I know we have some listeners now over in the UK.
Yes.
So if you guys listen to this, maybe you could leave us some comments or hit us up, because I'd love to discuss, you know, the Queen's impact to you guys. Because being a bystander from the outside looking in, it just throws into sharp relief kind of what an odd situation it is to have a symbolic monarch that also collects taxes.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just very strange to me.
Yeah.
You know, like I see, you know, the new king sitting down at his fancy desk and signing the papers. And I'm thinking to myself, like, why are you guys paying him to do this shit?
Right.
Like, he's not really doing anything.
No, and you know, and that's the thing. Is this just more symbolic because that's always been the way it's been in good old jolly England, so they don't make change?
Right. I mean, it's just very strange to me. I guess I don't understand. Like, if you said to me, oh, well, you know, it's kind of a symbol of hope. Like, when times are tough, it's someone we can look to. And It's like, okay, sure, I get that. But, like, I don't know. It just is a very odd. You know what it is? It's like they talk every, you know, more and more as the years kind of progress, abolish them. Like, there's no point to it, right? And it's like, I get that you want to hold on to your heritage, but at the same time, like, use that tax money to build hospitals or something.
Right. I mean, you would think it's more of a position of humanitarian philanthropy than actual doing anything as far as rule enforcement or being a governing body. So, I mean, realistically, it to me it's just more of a symbol for the way that it always has been, thinking back to years gone by, as opposed to really what's the point of having. And again, right, she was the queen and she got the position, and you would think once she passed, like, maybe it's time to stop and get rid of it altogether,
or at least like really cut it down. Only because, like, I'm trying to figure out what the point of it is at that. Right? Like, she's, you know, all right, she was there for World War I and II.
Yeah.
And, you know, she got the nation through World War II. Sure, I get that. But, like, King Charles that's not what he's coming up to do.
No.
It's just been a very weird, because again, my whole life she's been queen.
Right. Yeah, me too.
Right. So, I mean, obviously, for most people.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's just a very odd situation. And then what ends up happening is you get the whole media circus that comes with this sort of thing. And so now the royals are kind of thrown into sharp relief, you know, going through this process And so I'm watching it, and I start to separate, like, okay, these are people grieving the matriarch of their family.
Right.
Tragedy.
Sure.
But an old lady, so.
But yeah, I mean, you have to take into consideration at her age, as much as it is a loss, it's there's more acceptance there because of how long she was alive.
It goes down a little easier.
Right, for sure.
So, there's that. And then I start like looking at their mannerisms and stuff, and it's like, did you see when he was signing the documents and he like pushed the pen? It's like, bro, chill.
Yeah.
It's a fucking pen.
Right.
Like, you got to relax, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that I don't. Here's my thing. I don't follow the royals.
No,
look,
neither do I.
I was there for the Princess Di wedding and that whole spectacle that it was, and it was on TV, and I remember it, and I
remember
saw
people
it.
were like very upset.
Yeah, but it's just that it's one of those things where I don't care about these people, so I don't follow them, so it doesn't affect my daily life in any capacity, because I'm not interested in what they are or what they're doing.
Would you equate them to like a Kardashian?
I would absolutely equate them to a Kardashian.
It's just maybe the British version of a Kardashian.
That's what it is.
Point.
I mean, you're famous for being famous at this point. I don't really think that you do anything other than you're in a famous position.
Yeah.
You're very wealthy, and you have an audience. You can
argue the philanthropy, but it's like, yeah, but you have all the money.
Right. Well, and that goes hand in hand. I think that if you're that rich, you should be a philanthropist. Like, you have an
But what else are you going to do with your money?
Well, that's my point. You have an obligation to help out some of the poor and needy with the amount of money that you make that you can't possibly spend in your lifetime. You should be helping out your constituents or the people that have voted you in, or however that works. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that they're doing it because they should do it, but I just don't care about these people. It doesn't matter to me.
Neither do I. I don't care about them, but obviously this event has just thrust them into the media, and so they're not interesting enough for me to say, oh, I got to keep following this.
Right.
But it's interesting enough for me to say, you don't make sense logically to my brain at this point.
Right.
So I'm curious to see you kind of interact in your element and try to make sense of what your being is, right?
Right.
And it just doesn't.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't make it. What doesn't make sense is that, this lineage is going to go on for a while, and this mantle is going to get passed on for a while, because he's got a son, right? That's going to take over when he dies. If anything happens to that son, it'll go to the next son. And then there's grandchildren this is going to continue on well after I'm dead.
Well,
this is going to continue on.
It continues on until someone finally just says, okay, enough.
Right. And that time doesn't appear to be any time within the next, century, maybe.
No, it's just a very odd. And then I want to take it one more step and then we'll move on. Mm-hmm. What's even stranger to me is that I understand that everyone knows who the queen is. I don't think that you get much more famous than like a president or a queen.
Sure.
Like that's the top, right?
That's the hierarchy.
That being said, even though I don't understand it, and again, our UK audience, enlighten me. I want to know. I can understand, at least intellectually, UK citizens mourning the Queen.
Sure.
I get it.
Sure.
To a point.
Right.
She's the Queen. Like, that's kind of your symbol. That's all part of it. I get it. What I don't understand, and what makes no sense to me, are all of these Americans posting on social media at how distraught they are that the Queen is dead. And it's just like, what?
Right.
The fuck do you care?
Right. I mean, I saw a bunch of people, talking about how sad it is. It's like, how sad it is to who? Not you.
Right. What?
Like,
the
you're not
96-year-old
sad.
stranger
Right.
passed away peacefully?
Right. Because not only was she a 96-year-old stranger, she didn't affect your life as a United States citizen in any capacity. So, therefore, you have nothing to be sad about. You could say, oh, that sucks for them, and that's as far as it goes. For you to be mourning or for you to be weeping as an American citizen, I can't, for the life of me, understand why, other than you're making it about yourself.
Yeah, there's like poems going around
Yeah.
and shit. It's just fucking bizarre. And it's
It
just
is.
like, I understand it's a world event.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand as Americans, like, how, no, you don't really fucking care.
No.
Look at how brave Charles is. It's like, what are you fucking talking about, how brave he is?
Yeah.
His
Yeah.
mother died. We all
His
go
mother
through
died
it.
of extreme
Right.
old age.
Everybody goes through it. Like, he's not more or less brave than anybody else.
She didn't fight cancer. She didn't fight a heart attack. She didn't fight getting, hit by a car. She died of extreme old age. There is nothing brave about you having to bury your 96-year-old mother. That's not brave.
And then I want to take it a step further, and it's like, look at how brave he is. It's like, oh yeah, in his $750 million tax-free inheritance.
Right.
What bravery.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He's saying that bitch should have died years ago,
Yeah,
so I could have taken over. I'm 73.
I'm the oldest fucking monarch, and I got sausage fingers. Like,
Yeah.
Bitch, I'm going to live for 6 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to live much longer, and my fucking kid is going to take over from me.
Yeah, thanks, Ma.
Yeah. And I'm a transitional champion.
Yeah, but he's a psycho. Like, have you heard? Thanks, Mummy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, he's a weird-ass
Dude,
bastard.
it's weird.
It's all weird.
And then you see, like, the shit that comes out where, like, the ex-servants are just like, yeah, they're the worst. And it's like, he called one of the servants in to his office and said, pick up my mummy's letter. It fell in the trash.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, just pick the fucking letter up.
And then did you hear they're talking about her dogs, and they said, oh, they're saved for now. They're not going to be euthanized. Why the fuck would you euthanize her dogs? You telling me that you can't pay somebody to take care of dogs?
I don't understand how it works.
They're dogs.
I don't understand. Like, you can't have the queen's dogs.
Yeah. It's like, what? So because they were hers and she died, they now have to die with her? What is it? What is she, King Tut as well?
Dude, it's ridiculous. And then you got Prince Andrew fucking just free, just running around being free.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody's like, yeah, fuck him. No, he gets to do it. It's just insane to me. And then, like, for the world consciousness to be like, look at these 70-year-olds being so brave.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah, they're so brave. They
What do you mean
can
they're so brave?
Yeah.
Like, someone actually wipes his asshole.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean he's so brave?
He's going to wipe his tears with millions and millions of pounds. Oh,
It's just,
it's good for you.
So bizarre.
Yeah.
And I just don't even, I can't fathom it.
No, as an American citizen, it's extremely difficult to get having a king or queen, and so that part of it is so hard to comprehend. But then,
here's the thing: is that you could say like, oh, you got Bezos and Musk and all those guys.
Yeah.
But they're all cunts.
Right? Like when they die, who's going to give a shit besides their immediate family?
Yeah, and nobody's celebrating.
And not even them, they may not care.
Nobody's celebrating them. It's not like when Bezos rode his cock up to space. Like, people were like, oh my god. Oh my god, what an inspiration to humanity.
Yeah. But I mean,
it was like, dude, you're riding on a cock rocket. You look like an idiot.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna feel bad for a 73-year-old man who lost his 96-year-old mother.
But who also can't function in society, can't pick up a fucking paper.
Right. Exactly.
Psychotic.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I'm not convinced that Prince Philip is dead, though, because I'm pretty sure he's a vampire.
Oh yeah, no, he opens up the grave every evening and stalks the weak of England and sucks their blood.
Yeah.
Goes, he's Nosferatu. There's
so.
no doubt about it.
My favorite picture is like him, like they brought him back for the 30th time, and he's like sitting in the car, and he's like, "Please, just let me die." Like he's all like purple under his eyes and shit.
I've been alive for hundreds of years. Please stop.
The sun does not.
Yeah, drive a stake through my heart already.
I think now is the perfect time to go in with Morbin time.
Oh, is there ever a perfect time?
There is not.
There is not a perfect time.
Spoilers, the rumors are true. It made me want to punch a baby.
Sure, that is extreme.
That was my initial reaction. I was like, if there was a
Did you want to punch a dead queen?
Yes. I was like, if the queen was alive, I may have
punch
to
her back dead.
Yeah.
If she comes back, comes back to life.
I'm saying, bring me Philip's head. Like,
there
I'm like, bring him on. I'm ready. I have to do something to stop the cycle of vampirism. Do you remember what I said to you about Venom 1?
Yes.
It's like, oh yeah, they kind of nailed Venom.
Yeah, the character design and
right. I couldn't actually tell you what the plot was.
Right, because there was no plot.
It's like that, but they didn't nail anything.
They nailed nothing.
It's so bad. The CGI. Here's the thing. If you want to tell a shitty story, but at least you nail the technical aspect of it, it's like, well, it looks pretty. Okay. Some eye candy. The fight scenes are them flying around and fighting and shit, but the camera doesn't stay with them. So most of the scenes are just the camera flying around with them. So you're just looking at and not clear building. You're just looking at fucking shit flying by, and then every now and then you'll get a slow motion
of course
shot of them fighting.
Yeah.
And Matt Smith does some dance moves or some shit at one point. And ultimately it culminates with the emotional moment of Morbius using bats to pin Milo down, to stab him with the serum that kills him.
Of course.
And then he flies away, and his love interest, who wasn't a love interest until the last 5 minutes, becomes a vampire. And then just to fist fuck you all the way through, they go, we got to throw Vulture in there too.
Yeah,
so
because you need that.
Yeah, he's in jail, and then the split happens because they have to just. They're just like, we're just throwing shit at the kids.
Right.
It's like, and then the end credit scene is he flies over to Morbius.
Yeah.
Right?
Perfect.
Except that's not Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
That's a guy in a helmet with Michael Keaton doing the voiceover, and it's the most cartoon. Like, he's talking like this. He's like bobbing his head to like show us, the idiot audience, that he's talking.
Right.
Jared Leto is 50 years old.
Yep.
He may be a vampire because...
He could be. Dude looks about 27.
Say what you want about Jared Leto. I would love to just sit down with the man and go, what are you taking?
Yeah. What is your routine
because
to look that way?
Nobody looks like that.
No. I was amazed when I found out his age.
I want the chemicals because whatever it is, is incredible. Like, he looks like he's 30.
Yeah. The problem is Sony just doesn't get that they can't do superhero movies. They've continuously tried and failed. But the problem is that they've had some success. They had some success early with the Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire movies. And they had monetary success with Venom. I mean, Venom was an awful movie. And Let There Be Carnage made Venom look like Casablanca, because that was just one of the worst movies ever.
Yeah, it's
but
weird.
They're making money. And so because they're making money, because they're putting out characters that the fandom wants to see, they're equating that to success. And so they think they can make these superhero movies with the properties that they have from Marvel, and they're going to keep on putting out shit movies. They're going to put out Spider-Woman, and they're going to put out Black Cat, and they're going to put out all these movies that are going to epically fail. Madam Web with Dakota Johnson. How is that going to be a successful movie?
So here's the thing. The dangerous game that they're playing is that if you keep doing shit like this, people are not going to look at Marvel like Star Wars.
No.
You can have it that way right now even.
Mm-hmm.
People still love it.
Yep.
But if you keep doing this sort of shit, at some point, everyone is just going to go, you know what? This shit fucking... I'm good. Like, why don't we watch some other shit?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. The only... And Marvel has benefited because that other shit hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Because Star Wars epically failed.
Yeah.
And we don't have anything else that came about. Yes, I mean, you had like a monster success in Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
Was
but
that-
that's nostalgia.
But that's nostalgia, right? You had Jurassic Park that failed miserably.
Financially, or just
Both.
I thought it did okay
No,
financially.
I think it failed both. You know, just like every Marvel movie from this phase has monetarily failed. Most critics are, as far as fans and what have you, are divisive, but monetarily, none of them made the money back
I
that
think
they should
did.
have.
No, not that. Maybe not that they should have, but I think you have to. Like,
No, they're not. When you add in the cost plus the marketing, I don't think any of those movies did any better than break even.
Well, Chapek said like the old ways are gone. Like he's like,
Yeah.
He goes, people got used to like post-pandemic movie watching. It
Right.
doesn't work. It doesn't. Like
No.
you're not getting people. Look, obviously there's still shit running around, right? But people are back and living their lives.
Right.
Nobody's going to the movie theater.
No, I mean what? Since the movies have opened, right? Since theaters have been back, what are we talking? 2 years, right? Would we
Well,
say?
they shut down. What? They shut down in March 2020,
Right.
and they were closed until what? Was it this
Probably
year?
the following.
No.
the following year. They were open in 2021.
What? Like the fall,
Yeah, probably summer.
summer, fall.
Yeah, of 2021, right? So we're talking a little over a year, right? Where we
Yeah.
can say, I mean, so I can say I've probably been to the movies twice in that year plus time frame.
Yeah, same. I saw Dune, which was I like that. I like that at the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
movies too. You know, big booming,
Yeah.
audio and everything. And I saw Northman.
Yeah, and I saw Spider-Man: No Way Home, and I saw The Black Phone,
Right.
right? And so,
So
I
you
mean,
saw one epic and one not indie, but a smaller one.
right? And so, I mean, they're not luring me back to the movies for anything because there's nothing that they're putting out that is going to drive me to the movie theater to go and see it, because I'm not interested in the movies that they're currently making. I mean, whether they're okay or not, I don't want to spend the money on in my time going to the movie theater to watch these movies, because I don't think that they're quality enough to get me to want to get off my couch to go do it.
So the only thing I could see myself kind of getting me to go back would have to be like the cost has to be next to nothing.
Right.
That's the
That's
first thing.
first.
I want small bespoke theaters. I don't want to go with teenagers that are going to
Right.
turn on their phones and be talking about what's going on at school and all that shit. I want to go with people that want to see these fucking movies
Yep.
in very intimate, small settings that I can still kind of get the, feed off of the energy of other people watching the same thing.
Right.
But not have to deal with all the bullshit, the sticky
Right.
floors, and just all the bad shit that comes with it.
I don't want to have teenagers walk by me interrupting me because they have to get to the bathroom or the concession stand 5 times in a movie because they
It's
don't
not
really
about
give a
going to
shit
the
about
movie.
going to
It's
the
about
movies.
hanging out.
Right.
And it's an
exactly.
easy place
they
that
don't
you can hang
care.
out. And
right.
I get that. I'm not hating on that.
No, because we all did it.
But I'm saying that, like, now, as a movie watcher,
Mm-hmm.
either you can give me that kind of an experience, but if you can't, then I'm going to watch it at home.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
like maybe, because then what happens is if I'm weighing it at home,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, do I even really want to see it?
well, that's the other thing too. I mean, we're trying to we're doing a lot, right? We're putting a lot of effort into what we're trying to build here, right? And when you have 2 to 3 hours, do you want to put more work into creating content, or watch a movie that may or may not truly suck, right? So now you have to think, if I have free time, how do I want to utilize that free time?
Right.
Do I want to keep working on building stuff, or do I want to go out and, take somebody to dinner or something or do I want to sit and watch a movie, and then 3 hours later I'm like, yeah, I wish I could get those 3 hours of my life back, because that was just pitifully awful.
Right. I think what it is I'm just more selective now.
Right.
Right. So like Northman, I'm all in on.
Yeah.
But like Thor, right? So I saw a clip the other day of Gore.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, that looks awesome. It's Christian Bale.
Right.
Like, it's not even a fucking... And I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch it. And then I remembered, like, the actual tone to the film, and I was like, you know what? It looks really cool, but it's long. And, like, I don't think I'm going to like most of it.
Well, I mean, it got horrible reviews.
Well, they
horrible
said
reviews.
Christian Bale was good.
No. I'm talking about overall. They said Christian Bale was good, but the comedy was so slapstick that it ruined the movie. Takai Waititi took the good elements of Ragnarok and tried to amplify. Now,
yeah, it's too much, right?
So here's the thing. Now they're talking about, do they want to give him the next, do a Thor 5 and let him do it? And my thing is, I think he's smart enough to know what worked in Ragnarok and what failed in Love and Thunder, so that he could put on a decent Thor 5.
Does he want to, though?
I think... I don't see. Here's the thing. Now he doesn't want to, because of how much backlash is coming his way, because of how much people didn't like this movie.
Yeah.
And so now he's rethinking that he doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But, again, but it was you that made the mistake. The backlash you're receiving is warranted. So, yeah, if you get the opportunity, you should fix what you messed up. And if you can't, and you make another horrible movie, well, then... maybe I don't know, maybe you're worried about killing your career. I don't know if that would potentially happen or not, but...
I don't know that it's a career killer. I don't
think so either.
Maybe you shift back to kind of those more indie sort of vibes.
I would think that you're going to get out of the...
better, honestly.
I think you're going to get out... I think you would be out of the superhero movie making, because I don't think you'd get any other opportunities. But you'd still get plenty of opportunities doing what you were doing.
Sure. What did you think of to pivot a little bit, the Brie Larson interview? Did you see that?
I saw a little bit of it, yes.
Just the thing that everyone's talking about, right? Where they said, hey, are you playing more Captain Marvel? And she said, I don't know, does anybody want me to? And there was almost a pang of sympathy there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I had mixed feelings on it, because I'm like, if you would just listen, I think you have the look.
Yeah.
I think that if you tone down the personality, it'll work. But we're not your enemy.
Right.
We're your fans. So just understand that if you're not here for us, then you don't exist.
Here's the problem. Captain Marvel is not a popular character.
No.
So if you you don't have a large fan base, and if you act like an asshole like she does, then you've got nothing. At least if you were like, how many people were War Machine James Rhodes fans prior to Don Cheadle?
No one.
Right. No one cared. You had a small group of fans, probably even less than Captain Marvel.
Right.
But because Don Cheadle is who Don Cheadle is, all of a sudden he's got a large fan base. And if you just acted like that, you would have a fan base that would care about a character that otherwise no one cares about. But because you didn't have a fan base in place, because no one cared about the character, it was your job to make people care. And you did the opposite. You made people hate it.
Right, and it's a perfect case study of this is why you have to be careful during the marketing and the interviews and everything, because you came across as a shitty person.
Right.
And so, yes, would I be fine with her continuing Captain Marvel? Sure. With the asterisk that you don't act like a fucking jerk if you're going to keep going. Embrace the fans. Be able to laugh at yourself. This is not what you won an Oscar for. This is light.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you have the chops to act. It's not a matter of not having the ability. If you're an Amber Heard and you don't have the acting chops,
right,
that's different. Okay, and then if you
just get
hate
by on your looks,
right? If you get hate because you're terrible at your craft, that's your fault,
right? But
if you have the ability to win Oscars and you get hate, it's because you as a person are hated, not the acting ability that you possess. It's that either A, you're not putting an effort into it and the fans can see right through you, or you're alienating the fans by acting like a complete asshole.
I think the biggest mistake with her was just that she's like, oh, I'm an Oscar winner.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, cool. And I respect you as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to understand that superheroes are a different animal.
Right. You're never going to win an Oscar because they don't even come up with the award.
It doesn't fucking matter if you have an Oscar, because if you can't play the character right, or you attack the fan base, or you attack your co-stars, and it's just like, no, I'm good, I'm me, I'm the best. Nah, fuck you. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that we're all sitting here going like, get rid of Brie Larson. It's just that it's like, look, you got, at least in my opinion, you got your just desserts on that, because you were acting like a fucking jerk that was too, you were above this, but you just wanted the money, and we're all supposed to fall in line.
Yep.
You are only here for us. If we don't like you, then you go away.
Right.
So with that in mind, be humble.
Yeah.
Be humble. Yes, you are a fantastic actor when it comes to drama. You can really tap into your emotions. You're very intelligent. But if you're going to be a hero and tell the fan base, if you don't like the way I do it, get fucked, you're Homelander.
Look, we as fans want these characters. We want them to succeed, and we want you to portray them, and we want to lavish that love upon you for bringing these characters to life. And we want you to, we want to embrace you if you embrace the character, and then therefore your fans.
She became Homelander.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it is. She's like, yeah, I'm Marvel's Superman.
Right.
And if you don't like it, get fucked.
Yeah.
And it's like, you understand you're Homelander, because that's literally what he does.
Yeah.
So it's like, instead of being Captain Marvel, you became a gender-swapped Homelander.
Right.
And it's like, nobody fucking wants...
Right.
Captain Marvel isn't the most popular hero.
No, not at all.
Nobody wants Homelander.
No, but, Brie Larson gave us an ultimatum. Either accept me as I am or get fucked. And everybody said, okay, we'll get fucked.
Right. And then, Feige, who very rarely missteps, is like scratching his head going, what happened?
Right.
I primed this.
Yeah. This was this was the replacement for Robert Downey Jr.
Right.
This is what Kevin Feige sold Brie Larson as Captain Marvel on. She was going to be taking over as the leader of the Avengers, and she was going to be the female Robert Downey Jr. for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then one movie in, he had to go, yeah, you know what? I said Elizabeth Olsen, right? Hey, no, asshole. You said Brie Larson. Oh, well, I meant Elizabeth Olsen in that role.
So that's the thing. It's just that I think she's feeling it, right?
Yeah,
and it's
she
like,
is.
It's like, that's cool. I'm glad you're feeling it, because you were being a fucking jerk. So we're at a crossroads. I'm open to her continuing to play Captain Marvel.
Sure.
But you got to change
Yeah.
the way you're approaching this shit. I'm not an enemy because I don't want you to be Homelander. And when you tell me that if I don't like certain elements of the character, that my choices are get fucked or deal with it, that's Homelander.
Yeah, and again, you have a hard road because you don't have a popular character. You got a character that doesn't have a built-in fan base that you needed to create.
If she truly wanted to do this, which I honestly believe she doesn't.
No.
I think she's just trying to cash a check.
Me too.
But if she does, if she's seen, that there is potential, because again, the reason I say superheroes, I get so passionate about Ezra Miller and even Amber Heard, is that you're playing characters that we as a society hold up as the gold standard in archetype storytelling.
Right.
So you can't be the female version of Superman in the Marvel Universe, but be Homelander.
Right.
Because now you're a villain.
Right. Yeah. And again, we don't want to have somebody who wants to be adversarial to the fans who only want to accept and embrace you if you accepted and embraced the character that you're portraying
and the
fans that are out there supporting this.
Right. And no one's gonna love you all the time.
Of course not.
But if you came out and you had your little Robert Downey Jr. charm, right? But you embraced the fans and you laughed and you had fun with your coworkers and not all your interviews made everybody cringe.
Yeah.
You would be running the show.
Look, I don't think there's a lot of detractors for Gwyneth Paltrow. And Gwyneth Paltrow...
Oh, as a human, she's deplorable.
Right. But did she put her effort completely into playing Pepper Potts to bring that character to life? I say absolutely she did. I think that as an actress portraying that character, I think she did a fine job. I have no qualms with her portrayal.
But she was not a superhero.
No. But what I'm saying is, you have this is a person that is pretty deplorable as a person.
Yeah.
Right? Who holds herself up to a very high standard above most of us. Do you know that she believes this and sells it to her kids and shit, that she got to where she's at because she's great? Yeah.
It's like, but your parents.
Right. No, absolutely.
Like you don't think that that
has everything to do with it. No, she doesn't see it because she is such a narcissist.
But can you imagine that? It's just like you've been in the industry from the beginning. It's not like you came out of nowhere.
But at least she embraced the character and the fandom, and she gave it an honest effort for the movies that she's in.
Because even if it's not that good, and it's not, because she's not a great actor.
No, she's not.
But at least she's not becoming this adversarial, like, oh, you don't like my Pepper Potts? Eat a fucking dick.
Right, exactly. She embraced the fandom and gave a performance that was, again, while not spectacular, acceptable for that character. It brought it to life in an acceptable way. And she can be, a horrible person outside of that, but she didn't take it out on the fans, and so she got no negative reaction from the fans.
Right. Let's pivot a little bit.
Sure.
Because, I mean, I think hopefully Brie can figure it out.
Hopefully.
But I don't think she will.
I don't think so either.
Because even that comment, although it made me feel something for her, because I was like, yeah, that sucks. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I was like, it's not our fault.
Right.
Stop thinking that it's us being like, burn the witch. It's not. It's
right.
We said, hey, there's some things, maybe we change some of this shit. And you said, fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
You just hate women.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
Like, what?
Exactly.
But whatever. Let's talk about a little bit more controversy, though.
Okay, let's do that.
So, obviously, D23 happened.
D23 happened.
Pretty lackluster.
Very lackluster.
Yeah, but I mean
the announcements were not anything that people wanted.
No. And we've kind of covered this, though. I think Chapek is just going to work on the parks.
Yeah. That seems to be his deal.
Yeah, and it's weird. Like they're getting like very dystopian now. Like you have to have reservations. And, like, everything's incredibly expensive, and now the fast passes cost money. Like it's all very.
Yeah.
Oh yes, Disney is for the rich. Like, yikes.
Yeah.
But they did release their latest giant cash grab.
Yes.
And that was the trailer for The Little Mermaid.
Yes. Which it absolutely is nothing more than a cash grab.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, they all are, though. All the live actions are just cash grabs.
Right.
Now, I will say this. That being said, I think that the girl that's playing Ariel has a beautiful voice.
Perfect voice for the role.
Perfect voice. I'm very happy that she has red hair. That would have set me off.
She doesn't.
What do you mean? She does.
Not
It's like
really.
orange.
Not really.
See, but that works for me.
Well, I'm gonna explain something.
All right. Give me a hot take because
I'm gonna give you a hot take.
All right.
So I'm listening to the YouTube channel Clownfish TV, who brought this up. This is where I got this from.
Okay.
So obviously we have the controversy of the color of her skin, and we can talk about that in a second. The other controversy was, why doesn't she have the red hair of Ariel, like the bright red hair? And this was brought to Disney. You know, this was something that the fans really, truly wanted to know. Like, hey, whether you agree with a brown-skinned girl playing Ariel or not, the ask was, well, why couldn't you have at least given her the red hair that Ariel has? And the answer from Disney was, well, it just wouldn't look correct on a brown-skinned girl. It wouldn't look natural. And to that I say, it's a fucking mermaid. It's not real. Like, who cares if you gave her flaming red hair and it doesn't necessarily look natural? Who the fuck cares? This is a fictional character. It's not real, so it doesn't matter if it didn't look natural. This isn't a natural mermaid.
I'll say this. So I would make that's pretty much my argument for her skin color, though, is that it's a mermaid. It doesn't fucking matter.
Exactly. All of it doesn't matter.
But let me say this about the red hair. It doesn't look natural on any skin color. Look at Mira. It looks fucking ridiculous.
Right. It's not that it would look natural, period.
No.
But I mean, but to say that it doesn't look natural on, like, again, this is a fictional character. If you wanted to put that red hair on her, you could have done it. You don't have to say that it doesn't look natural.
Well, let me
because it doesn't matter.
Take an opposite stance on this, because I'm okay with it, and I'm going to tell you why. Because it's red, and
it's red enough,
and so it's red enough, and so to me, I look at it right, and I go, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
you're going with more, less cartoonish kind of vibe, and that's fine, as long as her hair is a shade of red.
Yeah.
If her hair was like purple or
pink or
orange, I would have a fucking problem.
Orange was pretty much what it should be. I think the red is more to the orange side.
I think it's fine. I really do.
But see, all of it's fine. What troubles me is besides the fact that I think that these are soulless movies with no heart. They're changing the plot of the movie as well, so that she's not pining after and going after a man, which is the plot of what The Little Mermaid is. It's going to be something different. Yeah,
but like sort of. Here's the thing. It's more complex than just, I want a man. I want to be a part of. I want to be where the people are.
Right. And so again, I don't know if the plot changes the story or not to make it vastly different from the animated.
Yeah.
I don't know that as of yet because it's not out. My point is, all these live action remakes suck. They suck. They're cash grabs. They're made to
let me say this. Let me say this. If they change the plot to The Little Mermaid and they make it more, it's not about the prince, right? Like maybe she wants whatever she wants.
Right.
And you have, the actress that's playing, or the actor that's playing it, playing the role or whatever. I think that is a much better way to go than just doing a shot-for-shot fucking remake.
Right, which is what most of them have been up until this point.
Because if you do it that way, you're giving a modern generation empowerment with an old story.
Right.
So I'm good with that. You want to change it because you want to modernize it and make it non-animated and bring it into the 22nd, 21st century, whatever the fuck it is. Sure, I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
But if you're doing just a shot, like, you know what didn't work? The fucking Aladdin one where she's singing about how she's more than a prisoner, but that was in her head.
Yeah.
That's fucking dumb.
Yeah. And so, here's my biggest thing, my biggest takeaway, and we've talked about this ad nauseum.
Yeah.
Changing the race of a character only matters if it doesn't fit into the mythos of that character and it wholesale changes the character itself. How does making her black change a fucking mermaid?
It doesn't.
Right. So what are people complaining about? Why is this even a thing? Why in society of 2022 are we having a problem with changing to a woman of color who's a mermaid, and it doesn't alter the story at all? Even if you did a shot-for-shot remake, it doesn't affect the story whatsoever.
No, it has no bearing at all.
So why is this even a talking point?
But they did it with Aquaman. Right?
They're doing with it. Yeah. Just every time this comes up, unless it doesn't make sense to the character and the character as constituted can't work because there's a reason why it has to be that specific race. Like, if you try to do Roots with all white people, that ain't gonna work. Like, you can't do it. It's impossible. So you don't do it. It would be idiotic for someone to even suggest it. But if it doesn't make one iota of difference, why is anybody complaining about it? Why does this young girl...
Oh, it's just it's racism.
It's racist. That's all it is. But why is this young girl having to deal with idiotic racism?
But here's the problem, right? I would say it's probably fair to say that her voice, unbiasedly, is better than the original actress's voice.
It could be.
It's more powerful. It's just cleaner. That's not to discount what the original actress did.
Right.
It's just to say that, she's got a beautiful, powerful voice. People are like jumping on the fucking, then people take the other approach where it's like, she's got a better voice. Fuck what came before. And it's like, they can both exist.
Right.
And it is racism. And it's ridiculous because, like, what make, if you made her a pale fucking redhead, whatever, how would that make her better?
Right. I mean,
it doesn't.
No. Look, you did the race swap with Little Orphan Annie, and it didn't work because you made a terrible story. It's not because there was an issue with changing Little Orphan Annie to a girl of color and having her stepfather, adoptive father, also be a person of color. That didn't matter.
No, it's irrelevant.
It's irrelevant. You wrote a shitty story that was horrible and people didn't like. And you might have the same thing with The Little Mermaid. That if you make a lot of changes, you may make a movie that people don't like.
Listen, a woke cast can't fix a broke script.
Right, exactly.
That's all it is.
Right.
So, I think if it's a good story, right, then what you've done is great. I think you're empowering a whole new generation of little girls to feel good about themselves. And if you're telling a story that's more, that's less about you need a man to have value, I'm fine with that too. I'm good on all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't need her to be, a pale redhead or anything. Because you know what, man? If we're talking about it in the fucking book, she fucking turns into sea foam and dies.
Right.
Exactly. Don't sit there and be like, oh, it's not true to the source.
I just want to say that if there's any parents or any little girls of any type of ethnicity listening to this podcast, if you want to grow up and be a mermaid, you go and be a fucking mermaid. It doesn't matter what your race, your color, your skin. Anybody can be a mermaid if you want to be a mermaid.
I'm gonna just say, like,
it.
don't just like go in the ocean and do that though, because
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Don't be advocating for that shit.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'm saying.
You can identify as a mermaid.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm just busting your balls.
There is no color, a specific color for a mermaid, so therefore it doesn't matter who the actress is that was chosen, as long as you can act and act well.
Yeah,
and,
all the shots so far look good.
right, and it's a good story. And again, even if you did it,
Do we know who's playing Ursula?
yeah.
Who's playing Ursula?
Well, here's where I have trouble.
Okay.
Because to me,
I love how disappointed you like.
Well,
I just took the win. You were like, not to be an asshole. You were like fucking. You were going
so you know who Ursula is,
in real life.
right?
Yeah, divine.
Right. So again, could you have gone to a trans or a drag queen to play the role? Wouldn't that have been a perfect opportunity to be diverse and do that?
I don't know. It's like complicated.
So my problem is you've picked a perennial loser.
Who's playing?
So Melissa McCarthy is playing
No, I don't
Ursula.
like that. That's a bad choice.
And I think that's a perennial loser. I think most things she's in fail. She's not really successful in the majority of things she's in.
Yeah.
And I just think that you had the ability here to actually. Now, I know you're doing it in Pinocchio. I believe the fairy godmother is
Pinocchio.
trans.
Did you hear about that? It fucking people like hate it.
People hate it.
Yeah, Pinocchio apparently is soulless.
Yeah. And so I think you had an opportunity here as well to go either a transgender or a drag queen, or, maybe giving somebody else an opportunity here. But you have to go for a celebrity, a name celebrity. And
It's not the right fit.
it's not the
though.
right fit. Melissa McCarthy is not a good choice.
No.
And I think that not that you have a woman of color playing Little Mermaid, I think Melissa McCarthy is going to be the reason why this movie fails. And I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, anybody that's listening, feel free to drop me a line and tell me how wrong I was.
I just don't think there's like knowing how Melissa McCarthy plays her roles. That's not Ursula.
No. Why couldn't you go with the woman of color here too?
I don't. That's. Oh, did you ever see Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
No.
Titus Andromeda would have been perfect.
Yeah. I mean, you could have done. Yeah. I mean, there are so many choices. I just think that you've made. I think that you've made a bad choice with someone that always. I mean, to me, she seems like box office poison.
It's not even that. I'm not even factoring that element into it. Ursula is like a fuck. Like, she's like, in my head, right? That octofish or whatever the fuck is like chain smoking cigarettes, right? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then roll it out, and she's like, all right, let's fuck some shit up right now. I don't get that from Melissa
No.
McCarthy.
No.
I just don't. I don't. Like, not in, like, look, she's got her own shit, and like, she's very popular in the stuff she's in. I'm just saying, like, I have a very, Ursula, she's a bad bitch.
Yeah. I just think that you went with name here,
Yeah, that's
and
a
I
bummer.
don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed in that for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll check it out. We'll see how she does.
Right. I mean, obviously, if, like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'll be the first to admit that I was wrong on that casting.
Because we don't have any images yet or anything,
No,
right?
nothing
Okay.
as of yet.
Yeah, very interesting. That's an interesting choice. I don't know that that's the right way to go.
But I will say that I was pretty disappointed in almost everything that came out of D23
It's just-
for things that I'm interested in. Obviously, this was controversial.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in The Little Mermaid whatsoever. I don't care. I won't watch it. It doesn't matter to me. I just think that it's idiotic to be racist to a young girl.
Yeah, it sucks.
Because
it shouldn't be that way.
Right, because you're claiming that a mermaid needs to be white with bright orange hair. Like, that's idiotic.
It's just, I don't know. There's just a lot. Here's the thing. I think it's a very safe assumption at this point to say that under Chapek's rule, I wouldn't expect anything in terms of moving any of the cinema or things of that nature forward. You're going to get the parks to evolve, and then you'll get your giant cash grab shit, and that's it. That's all you're getting out of him, because he's not the cinema guy.
No,
he's the park guy.
No, but I will say this. The one thing that I saw coming out of D23 that I am very excited over, and this is the only thing that I actually am excited over, is did you see the trailer for Werewolf by Night?
No. Werewolf by Night?
So Werewolf by Night is getting a one-shot Halloween special this October on Disney+.
As an animated?
Nope. Live action.
Interesting.
It's like an hour long.
Wow.
And they put a trailer out.
Wait, how did that happen? Who fucking signed that off?
I don't know who made that call, but the trailer is made, it's black and white. It's made to look like the Universal monsters of the 1930s.
Oh, so you kind of get that almost like Sin City look to it without the red?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right? It looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out.
It's like, it's kind of toned after Tales from the Crypt, so there's horror and humor in it together.
Yeah, perfect.
So they don't really give you a shot of Werewolf by Night, like really a good shot of the werewolf. They do give you a good shot of Man-Thing that's going to be in it
Seriously?
as well. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I got to watch. I'll watch that. I'll watch that.
It looks awesome. Like, the only thing that came out of D23 that has me excited at all is this.
All right. Well, I'm going to put this one to bed because now I got to go watch that trailer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jim, as always, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
What do you got going on?
I am working on issue number 2 of my horror comic Eva. Issue number 1 came out a couple weeks ago. That's right now available on Webtoons to download and read. And I'm currently underway on writing issue 2 that I'm hoping to have out before the end of the year.
Rad. All right, guys. So that's episode 19 of Catalyst Corner here. Let me know what you guys think. Do mermaids have specific colors? I don't think they do. But you guys let me know. And for the UK fam, you got to tell me what's going on with the royal fam. I need some answers here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Come on. Let's float this shit out there. Let's get this to people. Let's make it go viral. All right? Wouldn't be able to do this without you guys. And all right, crew. I'll catch you on the next one.